Martin Brundle presents more Great Escapes in 15 minutes, followed by the highlights of the Formula One American Grand Prix. After the news.
Defiant Blair avoids conference vote on Iraq.
I do not apologise for Iraq. I am proud of what we have done.
Police investigate whether Milley was murdered by the Costa killer. And the wonder goal that stunned Liverpool.
The ITV Weekend News with John Suchet.
Good evening. Tony Blair will be spared the possibility of an embarrassing defeat on Iraq at the Labour conference this week. Delegates decided not to put the issue to a vote, but some of them are tonight calling it a stitch-up. Earlier, Mr Blair had insisted he would not apologise for Iraq and said he was proud of what had been done. From Bournemouth, here's our senior political correspondent, John Ray.
Tonight, the Prime Minister can rest a little easier in his bed, his sleep undisturbed by thoughts of defeat on Iraq. The conference has stepped back from a vote on the war, not that the Prime Minister is in any mood to admit he was wrong. There is still huge anger over Iraq. Tony Blair at a question and answer session tonight and under pressure to assure Labour delegates weapons of mass destruction will be found.
And when people really know in Iraq that Saddam is not coming back, I think we will find the proof that we want.
The leadership denies a backstage stitch-up to avoid defeat in a conference vote, but some delegates don't see it that way.
I think it's disgusting. Personally, it should be debated.
The party has organised to get it off the agenda and that it would not be debated.
Earlier, the Prime Minister seemed to relish the chance to take on his critics.
They can attack me as much as they want. I believe we did the right thing. I believe that our British troops performed absolutely heroically there. I do not apologise for Iraq. I am proud of what we have done.
On Tuesday, Mr Blair will make his leader's speech safely out of the way by Wednesday, when the conference will at least get the chance to attack him on Iraq in the foreign affairs debate, the same day as a potentially awkward vote on foundation hospitals.
We do draw a line in the sand when it actually comes to the question of big multinational companies being able to take over delivery of our services.
But even if the unions do inflict defeat, Mr Blair isn't about to hoist his white flag.
This is a test of our, and my, mettle and character, actually. We've got to be prepared to do the right thing and to go out honestly and explain to the country, this is why we're doing it, this is why we've done Iraq, this is why we're taking on these difficult reforms in the health service.
Is there anyone better for the job? Well, Mr Blair doesn't think so. He derides talk of quitting, dismisses any deal to hand over power. The Prime Minister says he wants to serve a third full term. His task this week is to make sure his party shares the same ambition for him. John Ray, ITV News, Bournemouth.
Detectives are investigating whether the so-called Costa killer, Tony King, could also have killed the Surrey schoolgirl Milly Dowler. King was arrested 9 days ago for the murder of 2 Spanish teenagers. Now police want to know whether he was in England at the time Milly was killed last year. John Draper reports.
A young life cut short. Milly Dowler's body was found just over a year ago, but her killer never brought to justice. Now police are asking, could Tony King, suspected of murdering 2 young women in Spain, also have been Milly's killer? King was recorded some years ago on a security camera stalking girls at a railway station in Surrey. Later that night at another station he followed a young woman and assaulted her. Milly's last known movements were at a Surrey railway station. Shortly after these pictures were taken, she disappeared.
It's the possible railway station connection that's interesting detectives. Milly was last seen here at Walton-on-Thames station. King is known to have prowled other railway stations in this area looking for victims. What police now need to establish is whether he left Spain and returned to this country around the time that Milly disappeared.
King has a long history of sex attacks for which he was jailed in 1986. Released in 1995, he changed his name from Bromwich to King. 2 years later, he moved to Spain. 1997 onwards are the missing years, so could he have killed Milly Dowler?
There are numerous outstanding offences which he may have been involved in, and they're at the embryonic stage of actually putting together sufficient evidence for an interrogation team to go over there to question him.
Millie's death is one of 4 killings and 2 assaults police here want to speak to King about. John Draper, ITV News.
Scotland Yard has said tonight that it's investigating allegations that a 17-year-old girl was raped by 7 Premiership footballers. The incident is said to have taken place at a West London hotel this weekend. Detectives have said they'll take a statement from the girl before they make inquiries with any of the men alleged to have been involved. A teenager police feared had been abducted by someone he'd met on the internet was found safe and well today. Darren Freeman, who's 15, hadn't been seen since Tuesday, but he's now returned to his home near Monmouth. Italy is slowly returning to normal after a huge power cut plunged most of the country into darkness. Almost 60 million people found themselves without electricity. He almost clinched the World Championship tonight, but not quite. Michael Schumacher did win the United States Grand Prix, leaving him needing just 1 point for a record-breaking 6th world title. Kimi Raikkonen finished second, which means he can still catch Schumacher. There's 1 Grand Prix left in Japan in 2 weeks' time. Football, 4 Premiership matches today produced 11 goals, a penalty and a sensational hat-trick. Liverpool's hopes were dented. Blackburn lost for the 3rd consecutive time. Tottenham lifted themselves out of the bottom 3 and Leeds suffered another big defeat. Jason Farrell watched the action.
Charlton were looking to bounce back from their worst ever start to the season. But Liverpool made an unlikely springboard, and within 15 minutes Vladimir Smicer had dampened the mood at the Valley. But then came Kevin Lisbie. By half-time he'd scored twice to give Charlton an unexpected lead. Liverpool equalised with an Owen penalty, but Lisbie ran the length of the pitch for a well-deserved and vital hat-trick. It ended 3-2 to Charlton. Tottenham needed a Charlton-style win at Manchester City to take them out of the bottom 3. But the match was much less inspiring. Long-standing problems in the Spurs' defence were again exposed, but Paulo Wanchope blew one glorious opportunity after another. The match ended 0-0.
I don't know what he's doing, Wanchope. He's having one of those days.
Graham Souness blamed defensive lapses for Blackburn's home defeat to Fulham. And you can see what he meant.
Cross, Sahar in the middle, Morty open goal, and Fulham are in front.
Lorenzo Amoruso is struggling at the heart of the defence since his £1.4 million move from Rangers. It ended 2-0 to Fulham.
And Louis Sahar scores for Fulham.
Leeds' dismal run continued with a massive defeat at Everton. Steve Watson scored a stunning hat-trick, his first treble for the club. The final score, Everton 4, Leeds 0. Jason Farrell.
That's the news. Coverage continues on the ITV News channel from the Weekend News team. Good night.
ITV National Weather, sponsored by PowerGen. PowerGen. Power in good hands.
Hello again. So a bit unsettled for the new week, rain around and by midweek fairly windy. Bit of a difference in the temperatures tonight of Scotland and Northern Ireland, not really faring out too bad, although for Wales and southern England dipping down lows of 2 Celsius, so maybe even a touch of frost by morning. But at least a good bit of dry, fine weather around first thing. Up here across at the west of Scotland and Northern Ireland, a band of cloud and rain. Now that through tomorrow will tend to slide southeast all the while in towards northern England, Wales and the West Country. Brighter skies coming in behind, perhaps the odd shower, although it should stay dry in the southeast until after dark. Now in the sunshine it should feel nice, but if you do catch the cloud and the rain, it'll feel fairly cool. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye for now.
PowerGen. Power in good hands.
HTV Weather, sponsored by Bristol & West. For a cool range of financial solutions.
Hello there. Well, brace yourself for an unsettled, changeable week next week. Low pressure staying with us for quite a few days, so quite a bit of rain around. As far as the current situation goes, though, most of today's rain should have pushed away down towards the south and east, but there is another system waiting in the wings just up to the northwest there. There it's popped up, and that's going to bring us some rain tomorrow. So after a fairly dry, clear night tonight, we expect to see some patches of mist forming with these temperatures dipping under the clearer skies. 3 is your lowest, that's 37, so a wee bit chilly, and and you'd also expect a spot of ground frost, and indeed you'll probably get it. As far as tomorrow morning goes then, fairly bright and dry first thing. That's the little space between those two occlusions, but then later in the afternoon the occlusion, the second one, is going to drag in some more cloud cover and also some showers from the north and the west. So a few of those hitting the region, but I think southern and eastern parts of the region are going to stay dry and bright for most of the day. Top temperatures, well, we're talking 17, that's 63 Fahrenheit, with light southwesterly winds. A few showers lingering in the north and west again overnight, but for Tuesday it's all changed. Some rain, some spells of rain, some of it quite heavy, pushing up from the south. The same for Wednesday, and for the rest of the week some sunshine, but also quite a few showers. Bye-bye.
HTV Weather, sponsored by Bristol and West.
You can see the highlights of today's Formula One American Grand Prix in half an hour. First on ITV1, Martin Brundle presents more real-life examples of near-death experiences on Great Escapes.